we've done is we've gone back and looked at the original game, which was a PS2 launch game, and that game was heavily based towards the deathmatch idea, multiplayer gaming, and that was very popular. But what we wanted to do was go back and look again at the single-player experience. The story behind TimeSplitters is that you travel through time and visit different scenarios at different times, and the TimeSplitters have been trying to destroy human history. So we managed to set up scenarios from the westerns in the 1850s, where it's like a spaghetti western, through to Paris at the turn of the century, through to Chicago in the 20s, military installation in the 1980s, and through into futuristic robot factories, which is what's being played here. As the game progresses, you unravel a narrative where you find out what the TimeSplitters are planning to do, and in solving each level, you get given clues for the next level that you have to solve. So there's a very strong story that runs through the whole game. It also enables us to play very different scenarios in each level. So some levels, like the Chicago level in 1920s, you have to be very stealthy, and it involves a lot of sniping and exploring spaces. Other levels like this are much more all-out, action-orientated, where you go in guns blazing. We like the idea of that. We like to play around with different weapons. We like to play around with different speeds of the game. But the most important thing is that it's always exciting and that it always runs at a smooth 60 frames a second with lots of stuff going on. We've still got a very strong multiplayer element in the whole thing, so you'll still be able to do multiplayer deathmatch, 4-player link-up. iLink on the PS2, you'll be able to do up to 16 players. Plus we're going to have online, so you'll be able to play on a community basis as well.
Would it be fair to say that the first game was pretty much focused on multiplayer, and this game is a lot more focused on single-player action?
The first game was it was done for the launch of the PS2. We were a new company. We wanted to get a game out there that was fast and fun, and multiplayer gaming. It's a Twitch sort of thing, and we enjoy that, so that's what we aimed at. This game, we still like all the multiplayer elements are still there, and they've all been improved on, but we've really focused on the single-player narrative. Each story level is different, it has a different setting. You get given a cutscene at the start of the level to let you know, set the scene for the level and what you're meant to be doing, and it's just much more immersive. And certainly on the hard levels, it'll take a good experienced player a long time to discover everything and play through all the levels and work out the whole story behind the game.
What kind of new graphical enhancements have you got in the game over the first one?
Basically, the whole engine has been overhauled. In raw figures, probably 4 times as much in terms of backgrounds as what was being drawn in the first game. The characters are all 2 to 3 times more expensive. All of the props, everything in the backgrounds, all the characters, they all have dynamic lighting happening on them now. There's a lot more particle effects going on. The game has to run fast and it has to run smoothly.
How do you envisage that the multiplayer angle is going to work once we get the online stuff going in Europe?
Well, I mean, there's several different angles to multiplayer. I mean, first of all, we have the map makers back again, so you'll be able to make your own maps up. And this time around, you'll be able to set up single-player story levels. So you'll be able to build a map, put an objective at one end, put in defences, put in guards on patrols, set what the guards do. You'll be able to put in doors and keys and lock things and unlock things, and set the whole thing up, and then send that over to a friend and see if he can do it. Alternatively, there'll be cooperative, where 2 of you will play through a level, either iLink or online, and then there'll be multiplayer, of course, which we have, as in the first game, an enormous number of different options on that. So it's as flexible as it can be. We really like the idea of keeping the game as open as possible, so that people can put their own characters in their own backgrounds with their own set of weapons and just have fun and not dictate to people too much how they're going to play the game. On iLink, you can link 4 players up. You can do that in cooperative or in deathmatch. You can split the screens, or you can put 1 per player on each screen.
What's your favourite part of the game? What's the bit that you're really impressed with, proud of, rather?
I like all the guns. We've got the special effects. We've got a lot of different weapons now. We've got flamethrowers, we've got laser weapons and particle beam weapons. We've got mini guns. We've got a fire extinguisher. The brickwork back. But there's just a lot of different variety, and they're all being balanced more carefully now, so that they have a different effect and they have limitations. You can overheat them, or they'll affect them. They'll affect their accuracy. They'll affect how fast they fire. So there's some really nice stuff going on with the weaponry. Just a lot of attention to detail. It's much more interactive than the first game. Everything, you have to watch everything, because you never know when it's going to come.